Bitcoin is sitting over $30,000. Now, what does that mean for PulseChain? I think that this is huge, but we've got to understand the direction that the market is going right now. Now, let's take a look at a tweet from one of the Winklevoss twins. So, the great accumulation of Bitcoin has begun. Anyone watching the flurry of ETF filings understands the window to purchase pre IPO Bitcoin before ETFs go live and open the floodgates is closing fast. If Bitcoin was the most obvious and the best investment of the previous decade, this will likely be the most obvious and best trade of this decade, right? So we're seeing a lot of excitement around Bitcoin. And then we see Pomp saying the great accumulation race is underway. Institutions and individuals are competing for their share of the 21 million Bitcoin. Now, the one thing that's driving the price of Bitcoin is it's the BlackRock ETF filing. Now, most people believe that the BlackRock ETF filing will be approved, despite the fact that the Winklevoss twins have tried their own filing and it didn't work. But BlackRock is a bigger institution that has had, of all the uh, ETF filings that they've done, they've only didn't get one approved. So they've over 500 that they applied for. They got all of them approved except one. So most people are exciting and believe that it will most likely be approved and it will allow a lot of money to come in the crypto space. Now, most of this money is institutional money that will be coming. And that's why I'm excited, but not overly excited, because cryptocurrency has always been a retail driven phenomenon. The people that have always driven the crypto space, the prices have always been ordinary people. That's who resonated the most with the technology. So the fact that Bitcoin is growing, we can see that Bitcoin is growing, Bitcoin is pumping, price is sitting over 30K. What does that mean, right? Let's take a look at here, right here. The Bitcoin dominance is sitting at over 47%. And that means that there's a lot of growth going into Bitcoin and only Bitcoin, and not as much into other coins as well. As we can see right now, Bitcoin past 7 days up 20%, followed by Ethereum up 16.5%. So other assets are not acting as strong. Right now, I think that this is just because the money that's coming in is from institutions. And if you look at how these assets normally work, uh, for the most part, it's usually institutions get in first, then retail comes after, then institutions dump on retail. But in this case, the institutions have been leading, and I think that the institutions will continue to lead, because now that institutions are getting into Bitcoin, they're getting into only Bitcoin and a bit of Ethereum. They're not getting into other players in the space. They're not going where the innovation is happening. Now, yes, we do have innovation on Ethereum, but the institutions haven't yet started to play with PulseChain. And at some point they will, because they seem to be following retail one step not one step, a few more than one steps behind. So I think the same thesis that normally happens where you have smart money and dumb money. In this case, I think the smart money is going to be the retail investor, and the dumb money is going to be these people that are coming in and piling into Bitcoin. Now, there are several reasons why I think of this. Right, if you look at the growth that's happening in the space, most part is not on Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin onboarding more people than decentralized finance, than NFTs? Are more people jumping onto Bitcoin than are jumping onto NFTs, gaming tokens, all these whole new ecosystems that are being built? I think more people are going into all these different ecosystems. So this Bitcoin pump, I think in the long term, will help other non-Bitcoin assets, will benefit PulseChain a lot more than it benefits Bitcoin, because this is only the beginning. Once they get and taste the sweet gains of the crypto space, a 2x in a in a short while, they're gonna see, well, what is PulseChain doing? So we've been in Bitcoin. We're now sitting at, maybe they're getting in now at 30K. We're now sitting at Bitcoin price of say 70K. And in the same time, maybe PulseChain is up 5x, 10x, 20x, right? They're going to start to see all these other gains, and they're going to want to start to get in more aggressively. And now the good part is this: you need a lot less money to pump up PulseChain than you need to pump up Bitcoin. You need a lot less money to pump up PulseChain than to pump up Ethereum. You need a lot less money for that. So I think that over time, this will definitely drive more people into the altcoin space, and the altcoins are going to outperform. Now, if you like altcoins on PulseChain, have you taken a look at PulseShib, right? PulseShib, we've been covering it for some time. I'm going to be dropping some PulseShib videos as well coming up soon. But one important announcement: liquidity for the most part transferred from PulseX V1 to V2. So you can see this is V2, and we've got 34K liquidity. And if we go to V1, what we can see is that V1 has very, very little liquidity. So some people saw that the liquidity on V1 is not that much, and were like, what's going on? For the most part, and so we see on V1 liquidity is 8.4. So most of the liquidity is on V2. Now, the thing is this: the reason why liquidity providers are moving on to V2 is because on V2 you can earn fees. On PulseX V2, liquidity providers don't earn fees. All the fees that are generated, they go to the buy and burn mechanism for PulseX, which has been really, really good. So PulseShib for all the time has been contributing to the buy and burn mechanism, but now it's still contributing, but it'll be a lot less because some of the fees will go to liquidity providers, and rightfully so, right? I mean, if you put up liquidity, you definitely want to get paid for it. Let's just take a quick look at how much we've burnt in terms of PulseX. So PulseX has burnt 170 billion, looking really good. PulseChain has burnt 134 billion, looking really good also. So all in all, I think that, look, the fact that Bitcoin is up this much is great news. And the bottom line is this: that I think that PulseChain and other altcoins will be the bigger beneficiaries than Bitcoin over time. I think we're going to see that the price could continue to drive up, right? But obviously, nothing goes in a straight line. So expect dips along the way. In fact, we could get a dip very soon. But I think we are now in an upward trajectory, right? Despite the fact that we're not yet going to the moon this year, but we're definitely now in an upward trajectory. I think that we will. I don't expect us to see as much pain as we saw, say, last year. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again next time. And not financial advice. Yeah.